I'm still going with Polt. I love Polt's TVZ band. It's probably one of my favorites. I will forever remember his games against Stefano at the Lone Star Class Invitational. That was, in my opinion, still the best StarCraft I have seen. Like, actually live being at the event, it was the best StarCraft I've ever seen. And I thought it was super, super awesome. So I'm still going with Polt.
Yeah, I feel like we very often go back and cite those games as being some of the best ever played. They were so very close. I will agree with you that Polt's the favorite here, but Sheth, you know, he still hasn't won a series here at the NASL. And I feel like that's really uncharacteristic. I mean, Sheth's a Zerg player that's capable of winning against anybody.
Yeah, it's un-Chef worthy.
It's unfathomable Sheth.
No, I agree with you, and it's very weird to imagine that Chef could potentially go 0-4 or even 0-5 right now. That's just, I think it would be it would be 0-4 because he had, I think, 1 week off. But yeah, I don't know, man. I can see him well, I have to make a prediction. I can see him beating Polt, but I don't think it's gonna happen today. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Well, I'm gonna put my money on Sheth because he's my buddy, even though in chat he said that he couldn't believe that you were my friend. It made me sad.
Chef was very chatty, as we mentioned
Roddy,
before.
You're very clearly a bad judge of character. Evidence having been as your friend. I was like, oh.
You and Chef go way back, don't you?
We do. He was a regular guest on my little show back when I was first starting out in StarCraft, and we've hung out at Mini and MLG. We've casted some tournaments together. Every time I see him, I give him a big hug. And
that sounds adorable, man.
He's a good guy.
So tell us some about his TVZ. I mean, about his CVT. I know that you like watching Chef. You've always been a fan of his play. So, Ben, don't be so silent. Speak your mind.
Sheth was one of the first Zergs that really popularized going for roaches off of 2 bases. But that's a style that's sort of fallen out of fashion. These days, I think he just is what I'm going to call a standard macro Zerg. But he still likes to do things that allow him to work.
Wow, the new Overlord is so quick, man. This is the first time I really noticed it. Like, the old Overlord would have died for sure. And I do think that this one is going to... No. I actually think it's going to survive, man.
Really needs a bazooka to shoot down that Overlord.
Man, this Overlord is just a blur. That's how quick it goes.
Yeah, did you see the Marine ice skating there on the edge for a little while?
No, I did not see that. Wow, you could really see the difference there so clearly. That's the first time I really see it like that.
That new Overlord speed.
Nerf.
Good changes, man. I think the Overlord change was a very, very good change because Zerg has a lot of issues with scouting at certain timings. The new Queen, it might be too good. It might be too good. We'll see. We'll see what players learn to do, like to deal with the new Queen.
The problem is that I don't think it was really a problem that Queens were too bad before.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, of all the changes that Blizzard could have ever made, it's like, well, we're going to make Queens better. Okay, thanks, Blizz.
No, like, both Terrans and Protoss are always already complaining about Queens, and David Kim is like, you know what? Those Queens, I don't see them enough.
We're seeing a lot of issues with the Queen at the lowest level.
In free-for-all, we see the Queens often getting sniped by Reapers. We want to prevent that right now. Okay.
Sheth's still being active with his Queen. He floated forward just far enough to see that Polt has a gas on that bottom geyser.
You know, I know one guy who's going to be very happy with this. I was at CeBIT last year for the Intel 3 Master Global Challenge Hanover. While the openings are standard so far, so guys, I'm just going to share a little story. And I had this guy coming up to me, he's like, while I was standing outside, I was alone. Poor Roti, forever alone. And this guy comes up to me, he's like, hey Roti, I'm a big fan of your casting. I was like, oh, awesome, man. He's like, yeah, but I have a question, could you help me? I was like, yeah, of course, shoot. And he's like, well, okay, I'm Zerg, and I often open 14 pool, 14 head, or 14 pool into speed links. I was like, alright. He's like, but I always die against 2-gate proxy by Protoss. I was like, well, then you're not doing it right, man, because he's like, yeah, well, I make a spine crawler, but I just keep dying against, like, Zealots. I was like, well, you should just buy some time, man. You get a Queen, you get a spine crawler, then you pump out some additional links, and then there's really nothing to worry about anymore from Zerglings. And he's like, no, it doesn't work. I was like, okay, you're right. Like, have a good day. He's like, oh, come on, Roti, I don't mean it like that. I was like, no, but I'm telling you how it is, and you can disagree with me. He's like, no, it doesn't work. I was like, man, you can micro your Queens, But now with the new queen, I think he finally got it.
He'll never have another problem.
I think he's gonna send me a message. He's like, hey, you're right, man. You can't micro those queens.
Makes me want to tell my Seabit story about my interactions with a Counter-Strike fan. We'll see if these Hellions do anything noteworthy, and if they don't, I will tell that story. And Sheth is doing much like Morrow. He's up to 4 queens right now. He's already working on that creep spread.
Polt is getting a pretty quick stim though, and he's also on triple orbital way before QXC was. And if he just moves out and put on some fake pressure on Sheth, then he might actually be able to stabilize the third base a little bit quicker than QXC was. And that could of course make a difference.
Hellions will continue poking around for Polt. I'm going to go ahead and tell my story from Seabit.
I love your stories, man. Go ahead.
And so anyway, as you were at Seabit last year, or so was I. And Hellions just trying to deny some of this creep spread from Sheth. And our StarCraft station was set up right next to the Counter-Strike station, where Joe Miller and company were broadcasting the Counter-Strike tournament. So there were a lot of Counter-Strike fans near the StarCraft area. And then after we had finished up one day, I'm just kind of sitting outside. Sheth with quite a few lings out on the map. Might try to go after... Ooh, Baneling Nest down for Sheth. My story might have to go on hold because I love what he's doing.
What is he doing then exactly, man? You think he's going for the big boss?
I think he might. He's got about 52 drones. He's producing a lot of Zerglings.
He's going to try to get that surround, I think, on most of these Hellions, man. The Zerglings are in a really good position. I think these Hellions are trapped.
Oh, beautiful engagement here by Sheth. The Hellions going to retreat back into the Zerg's third base.
And now let's just let the queens deal with it. Where's the other queen, Sheth?
And Ling's going to come once more. Hellions are being microed very well, though.
Polt is getting so many Zergling kills. He's going to end up losing all these Hellions. But wow, did he kill quite a few Zerglings there.
And now Sheth could attempt to bust. And let's just look at what Polt has. Army supply of Polt, 14. He has no siege tanks. He has no siege mode. He has lots of barracks, and he's getting upgrades. But he has minimal amounts of units right now.
But Sheth right now is morphing in double evolution chamber and an infestation pit, so I really don't think we're gonna see that boss that you're dying to see, man.
Too bad. What we could see is another look at Sheth setting up the big surround on those Hellions. Live, we've got the live feed here in the bottom right for you guys, and here's Sheth coming from the other angle as the Hellions try to retreat. They are not able to get away. Nice moves here by Sheth. Polt microing well, though. Gets the most out of this.
I think if Sheth still would have had that second queen there, I think he would have been able to lose a lot less Zerglings. Would you agree?
Like
yeah, quite a few.
So.
I would really think he lost would only lose maybe 15 instead of 25, which I think is a big difference.
Back at the main game, we can see that Polt's just working on taking his third base. He still doesn't have any tanks out, man. Or one tank, but no siege mode. And why Zergs just neglect this mid-game Baneling play? It just blows me away. One day, Kev.
Because it's so all-in.
We'll see it, and I'll go. It's not all-in at all. Off 60 drones?
Well, if you just morph like 30 Banelings and you don't kill your opponent.
Yeah, but with no tanks, with no siege mode?
I know, you're bound to deal some damage.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you always say with Void Ray all-in. Void Ray all-in's not all-in. You're bound to do some damage.
Void Ray all-in is actually like the most all-in thing there is. Because there's really no way back.
This is not your mindset when you're doing Void Ray all-in.
I know. Big run by Sheth, who's going to try to make something happen with all these Zerglings. At least he's scaring Polt. And he picked up a few SCVs.
Polt has just turtled out to 3 bases, and this is going to be a great position for him to play from. Sheth getting his hive, making those infestors.
The only time Void Ray all-in is not all-in is on Metalopolis, because it's a guaranteed victory. But yeah, in other situations, you better win the game, otherwise you're pretty screwed.
Sheth's done a great job with his creep spread here, just slowly marching it forward, crossing the center of the map now.
It's Sheth's layer is more than halfway done, man. Aspire is going up as well. He's getting his fourth base over here on the left top side of the map. This is going pretty well for Sheth, but there's probably going to be that one really scary push by Polt. And Sheth is going to handle that well, perhaps save time with run bys. He did take out these rocks already, which makes it a little bit easier. Or debris, I should say. And if Sheth survives that, man, I think he's going to be in really good shape.
A ton of overlords with speed. I think he might be faking a drop, Kev.
And then run to the turn.
That's the only thing that seems to make any sense right now. We'll see if Polt reacts to this.
I'm surprised by how inactive Polt has been playing drop-wise.
Here comes 1,000,000 overlords into Polt's main base, and what does he do? Nothing. He's like, well, if it was a drop, they would be unloading by now.
Wow.
Polt doesn't react at all.
Polt calls the bluff. Polt will be such a good poker player. It's like doesn't break a sweat. 8 overlords? No problem. Let me send over 2 empty medevacs. Not that scary, man.
Well, he is going to build a lot of a turret ring, so maybe we can say there was some reaction out of Polt.
Yeah. That's a little bit weird.
Man, what if those overlords had just been full of Zerglings? Polt would have just lost his entire main.
That would have been pretty cool. Meanwhile, Sheth is completely fine with how everything is
like
going.
Do 7 offsuit.
Yeah.
Call.
Hey,
I've got 2s.
We've been crediting Moro for his creep spread. Look at Sheth's creep spread. It's just insane what the new queens give to her. Oh, 2 HP. 1 more link, man. Oh, 2 more links. Okay, that was kind of ironic. But Sheth has just absolute complete map control, and I mean, Sheth is gonna have to take some really, really bad fights to let this game slip away.
That or Polt's going to have to make some great ones. He's starting to mush forward. He will be able to clear up the creep and eventually secure. Wow, that's a great
massive
fungal.
It's gonna kill most of those Marines, and the Adrenaline Glance is ready now as well, man.
Oh man, that makes this game almost unwinnable for Polt.
Yeah.
Polt is working on 3-3 though, and Sheth still hasn't finished 2-2. He's also getting the Ventral Sax upgrade, so next time it won't be a fake drop.
Well, Sheth did end up losing 3 overlords right now with his fake drop.
Polt right now just getting rid of all the creep tumors.
Yeah, but he's gonna need to do that. He's gonna need to drop quite a few scans. We have 4 orbitals right now on the map, I believe. Yeah, I think, yeah, just starting his 5th.
What is going on in the middle?
It's gonna take quite a while.
1 hero Marine. He died, by the way.
Both players are maxed out. 5 Broodlords on the way right now for Sheth. Take a look at the upgrades. 2-2 is almost ready for the Zerg player, and 3-3 is on the way already for Polt.
5 Broodlords, 4 Banelings, and 3-3 coming for Sheth now. And man, these guys are just really taking their time getting into the super late game.
3-2-1 scan, Ben.
3, 2, 1, scan now. Oh man.
And look at Sheth. Sheth has a bird Zergling over here just being annoying.
Polt's got a pretty scary army, Kev, and even though Sheth has done an awesome job of mustering up a pretty impressive force, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to be that cost-effective against this many 3-3 Marines and siege tanks.
Oh, 2 Baneling, 2 Overlords full of Zerglings, so no fake drop this time. Actually, no, only 1 Overlord falls. Wow, I'm surprised by that. I thought
that new Overlord speed.
And Sheth bringing one Overlord straight away to the top side to drop creep, being even more annoying. As well, maybe Polt will finally be able to expand in the middle of the map. Well, that army of Sheth.
Yeah, this base for Sheth and in the bottom right looks like it's going to be doomed.
Yes, 119 Zerglings with Adrenal Lance.
Sheth's going to take a fight right now. Ling's going to get right on top of the siege tanks. Broodlords are here as well. Polt immediately focuses down most of the infestors. And that was a pretty good fight for Polt.
Yeah, it didn't start that good because he was on siege. Oh, Sheth could end up losing a lot of these Overlords here. And Overlords are so quick. They're quicker than the Marines.
I don't think the speed upgraded Overlord was changed, Kev. Big fungal gonna come down for nope, never mind.
I know, but
we're just gonna walk to its death.
I don't see the quick Overlords all that often. Sheth had a couple of links over here, but that's not going to be enough to deal with this. He's gonna try to counter though and try to do something about this fort base. While losing this base over
he's
here
gonna
as
lose
well.
his base. He very smartly evacuated 8 drones into an Overlord. But Polt's still out of position. If Sheth were to just go like at the front, I think he would kill Polt. I think Polt would just die.
Sheth is being really smart though about denying bases everywhere. But right now, Sheth is basically only stuck on 3 bases as well. Despite the map looking so different, looks like he has 7 bases. He actually only has 3 bases. And of course, the natural and the main are running quite thin.
Sheth's like avoiding fights at all costs.
And look how long Sheth has been denying this base man with creep tumors. It's so extremely annoying to play against, and I think Sheth has done that. Sheth has done that so well.
Yeah, kind of TLO style.
He's getting his 2nd Spire as well. Not sure where it is. Safety Spire.
See if he's taking a page out of the manga's book.
No, building.
The answer is no.
All massive techs next to each other.
Small little Marine hit squad over here on the top left, Kev, and it's going to be able to deny at least the mining at this expansion, if not the base itself. We still really haven't seen a heads-up engagement.
Nope. A lot of Zerglings over here is going to be more than enough to deal with these few Marines. So Sheth is fine there for now. All that Polt just really wants, man, is to expand over here, but it's been taking like 4 or 5 minutes now.
What if Sheth just flew in with a queen and an Overlord and just dropped it and pooped some creep right there?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
That'd
to
be
see
awesome.
that. Look at this queen. Look at this tank, man. It's like when
Jammed up.
when I'm Grandmaster.
Those Marines are buff. They don't get crushed by siege tanks. They're just like, no. No. This time, I don't know if Sheth's going to have enough units to keep this base alive. Polt just playing the old Zerg will never have a fourth base game.
Wow. There's so many corruptors over here as well. Interesting groupings here by Sheth. Just taking a look how he grouped his units. He has his Brutalist at 5 and the rest of the units at 6. And I don't think he actually groups his corruptors, because that's why he puts them on follow for the Brutalords. That's interesting.
No, that is actually kind of a cute idea.
I think it's just more of a... he uses 3 control groups, but he just can't find any group he really wants to put his corruptors in.
Those corruptors find a couple of Vikings. Kill one of them before disengaging. Polt has just been so patient, man. He's not forcing fights.
No.
He's building command centers everywhere.
And look at his money right now. 6,200 minerals, 2,800 gas. And, well, his stack must be insane. His infrastructure, at least. Has a lot of star points, has a lot of Rexes.
He can build just about whatever he wants.
Right.
Sheth expanding everywhere once again. Like, these guys have just been avoiding each other. Corruptor's going to one-shot a couple of Vikings here before running away from the bio.
I would say that Polt can afford to lose a couple of Vikings. Can end up losing 2 more right now. Has to be careful, don't clump them all up. A couple of SCVs getting fungled now as well.
Polt's done a good job of keeping these Vikings from clumping. Sheth going to run a couple of Lings into this 4th expansion. I don't know if that's the best choice. Planetary going to make short work of them. Even Queen's coming forward for transfusion.
Yeah, now the Brulers are in range though. And how many Vikings do we really have left? We have 8 Vikings left and they are positioned quite beautifully. How many Corruptors do we have left?
8 Corruptors against 8 Vikings, but there's also Marines on the ground, Kev. Polt's going to come in now from just about every side. Marines coming from both angles. Infestors dropping a couple of okay fungals. Really defensive position for Sheth. Polt really wants to keep this planetary alive. Baneling's going to waddle in. There's no Baneling speed. Infestor's even going to drop some infested Terrans. And Sheth, does he have enough to break this?
It's going to be close. Banelings are going to be able to kill a lot of SCVs over there, but the planetary is just not falling yet. There are not any Corruptors alive anymore, and I think these Vikings should be able to clear up all these Brood Lords.
Wow,
but look at the production. But look at the supply count, Ben.
Polt dipping all the way down to 120 supply. Sheth up at 180, but he's going to lose a lot of units here. Reinforcing Corruptors.
Making 120 Zerglings now at once.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Wow, what a fight that was. And it was Sheth that seems to come out way ahead of it. He's still maxed, and Polt just at 130 supply.
Yeah, Polt lost a lot of SCVs as well, but he's only at 41 SCVs right now. And he's just not dropping Muse. He's afraid to lose the Muse, I guess.
Well, he doesn't really have anywhere to drop him. Can't drop him in his 3rd. His main and his natural are mined out. This expansion is covered by Broodlords. I mean, Polt's being really smart about this, but Sheth has literally starved him out. There are no bases that Polt can take. And he's got all this saved up money.
I guess the moment he feels it's safe, he's going to drop all the Muse, and then he's going to be more than fine. Sheth still having that one super annoying single Zergling over here, which once upon a time denied this base from landing there. And now 10 minutes later, it's still there. It's just so good.
Polt's finally going to start to drop. 2 medevacs full of Marines. And make their way towards the main base of Sheth. There's nothing there, by the way.
Yeah, I really feel that. Sheth's just going to go for it, man, with all those Zerglings.
Ling's going to come in and try and surround this planetary. Nothing there to repair it this time. Corruptors just annihilating the Vikings with those 16 Marines not in the fight. Polt's going to have a much harder time holding, and actually he's not going to be able to hold. Sheth is going to crush everything. Polt does unload those units in the main base of Sheth, but I mean, Sheth's not going to care about this. He can lose these Evo chambers. He's already fully upgraded. Still pushing forward is Sheth.
There are not that many units left from Sheth anymore. More Marines streaming in. The Brutals are a little bit out of position, so I think he's going to end up losing these Infestors and the Ultralisk as well. Actually, the Brutals died already to this Viking. There's still a lot of Marines, man. Sheth is losing a lot of precious units over here as well.
Also get wasted. The last Broodlord is going to get picked off.
And Polt's still taking care of that drop. That was a super important drop, by the way.
Sheth remaxes on Ultralisks. 7 Ultras. Interesting choice.
Mew Heaven.
Wow.
He could still drop more, way more. Wow, look at how much energy Polt has.
Wow.
Polt has so much energy on all his orbitals.
The thing is, Sheth knows about this base, and I don't think Polt can really do anything to keep it alive.
Yeah, but Ben, there's no sense in having 3 or 4 orbitals with 200 energy. There's just no sense.
Oh, I mean, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you can.
He's going to need to hold the ram, Ben. This is Sparta.
Great position to hold the line. And Polt does hold the line. Sheth has to evacuate with those lings. Polt is just kind of turtled back at the front choke, and he does drop like infinity mules. What's that income tab going to look like now, Kev?
I think 2,500 is that?
I'm going to vote for 3K once the SUVs start working. Because SUVs and mules can mine at the same time.
Yep, mule can.
Wow. And what is it going to be? 2.4, 2.5. That income tab.
That's what I said, man.
That income tab. Polt on the move once more, this time with a little Marine squad full of medevacs. Sheth has retaken the center expand. And has finally started saturating these other bases now that he's won a couple big fights.
Sheth only has 2 Brootlords and 1 Infestor left, though. I mean, 4 Infestors are about to pop, and that's going to make his army a lot better again. Because actually, this this Ultra-only army would have been pretty vulnerable against all this stint bio. Look at Polt attacking several bases now at once. Going to attack over here on the right side. Ooh, nice burrow here, but Polt has more than enough energy. He's going to be able to kill quite a few of these drones.
Yeah, these drones just evaporating under these 3-3 Marines, and just like that. Sheth goes from 70 drones to 40, and he will clean up a lot of these units. Actually, none of those Marines at the low ground getting loaded up. Most of the Marines up on the high ground.
Oh, so smart by Polt, using that other medevac to still pick up a couple of those Marines of the other attack. That's just excellent, excellent play. And right now, Polt actually in the supply lead. He also picked off 1 Infestor, and by now, when Sheth is starting to get poor, every Infestor he can potentially pick off is such a huge pickup.
Yeah, I really have to feel like Sheth allowing this base to work like he has is making a big mistake. A couple of Broodlords started to move up in that direction, but Sheth, why are you allowing that base to mine?
I just feel that I think he feels that he can't crush it right now, or if he does, then he's going to lose this base in the middle of the map, which means that he's going to lose all his bases. Actually, this hedge did survive, so. But I mean, Polt wants it, man.
He's been given so much time, and he's rebuilding, and now he's got the larger army.
And he
a substantially larger army, 90 army supplied 142.
Yeah, it's crazy because Polt only has 25 SUVs right now, so his 167 supply army is actually ridiculously huge.
Sheth playing a really great game, but maybe suffering from being overly passive.
Once more, a good pickoff right there by Polt, forcing a cancel. Polt is going to try to take this base this time. And Polt is moving out with the majority of his army, but there are a lot of Ultras over here from Sheth.
Infestor just dies. Sheth will lose this base.
He will be able to take out these 2 medevacs on the left side of the map, though, but at what cost?
At the cost of an expansion in all of his drones, I fear.
Scan Polt. One time, baby.
I don't think he was looking when the drones were burrowed. He's more concerned about this army of Sheth. Sheth does still have a very scary army, but he's low on banelings, he's low on infestors. He does not have the best answer to all this bio.
Sheth trying to go for a small Zergling run by nice race right there by Polt for all those depots. And over here, there's not really all that much that these Zerglings can achieve, so they're just all going to die. Polt making sure there's no expand over here on the left top side, picks off an Overlord as well.
And wow, this one base that Polt was able to secure has just completely changed the dynamic of this game. Sheth starved him out for the longest time, and then Polt secures that 4th, and all of a sudden Sheth's really struggling.
Drop going on in the main base, but Sheth is on top of that. But right now, Sheth's economy, man, he has mining 400 minerals a minute. This is all that he's mining. He could just transfer these drones, Sheth, so at least you're mining from, well, 5 mineral patches. I guess it doesn't really change that much. Nice drop over here by Polt. It was still the same drop, but he unloaded in a better position. That he took out a lot of Zerglings. And
Sheth is going to spot this expand from Polt in the bottom right. This he can deny and should deny and must deny. Drones are going to go attack these mules.
Not every day you see this war, man.
It's a strange fight indeed. Mules can't even hit back.
Like
it's a sad existence being a mule.
Yeah, it is. You're born to work, man. That's all you ever do. You'll never mount to anything.
Nobody really wants to be a mule.
They don't have a very long lifespan either. It's like you're born, you learn how to work, and you die. Man, that's messed up.
Oh, a baneling. Of all things. That mule is an all-star.
Yeah. He's like, well, I was almost about to go on myself, man. My time was gone.
Big drop from Polt in the main base of Sheth. And this is going to be very difficult for Sheth to do anything about. Spawning pool is going to go down. Hive is probably going to fall as well. And Sheth And when he fights again, he's going to be fighting a maxed out Terran. Polt's got almost double the army supply.
I mean, Sheth is losing all his crucial tech right now. So Sheth, if he wants to win, he's going to have to win right now. And I guess Polt knows it as well. Most of his tanks are not siege yet. I'm a bit surprised by that. But we only have 8 Zerglings and doesn't really that much matter that much. On siege tanks do quite a bit of DPS as well.
Oh, so many Broodlings. I'm sorry, so many Vikings to deal with the Brood Lords. Sheth really needs some amazing fungals if he's gonna win this fight, but I don't think it's going to happen. Ultra's engaging. Needs some more fungal. There's so much energy on these infestors that's not being used. The Marines are going to eventually clean up everything. Vikings do go down, but Polt just has too much.
Polt taking out these buildings now as well, and as you said, when Polt just has too much, Sheth is really barely mining right now. Well, actually, he's starting to mine from this base now, so it's going to be a little bit better, but he's going to have to evacuate this base as now well, and this base as well, and that has to be curtains for our North American Zerg, man.
I think you're right, Kev. Sheth will lose his spawning pool. He's got only Zerglings and a couple of Banelings, and Polt is coming from both sides. One final fight down here in the bottom left. Polt again will position his army perfectly. And Sheth.
Such a long game, but Sheth eventually does call GG. Polt takes the first map. Man, 38 minutes between Moro and QXC, 36 minutes right now between Sheth and Polt. Not bad, man.
Quite a game, man. Sheth really played so well. If there was a single pivotal mistake, it was allowing Polt to take that base in the top left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really changed it because his entire playstyle was around denying fort bases, and he was doing such a phenomenal job for such a long time. First with burrowed Zerglings, then with creeps, just dropping creep from overlords, then he started to drop tumors over there as well. It was so hard for Polt, and I really thought it was going to be almost impossible for Polt to win that game just by the way that the map was shaping out. Everything was from Sheth. Polt couldn't even drop. We had a couple of fake drops by Sheth. That was pretty cool too. Pimpus play, I think.
If the Pimpus play was Polt just not even batting an eye.
Yeah, Polt is like 7 overlords in my base. That's okay.
He's like, according to my calculations, you can't have drop for another 15 seconds. I have nothing to fear. And he was, of course, correct. Yeah, I think the real defining factor there was Sheth not throwing everything he had at that fourth base. If he had just, at all costs, denied that fourth, Polt would have run out of gas. But
this is Sparta, man.
Yep, this is the only attempt that Sheth ever made at denying this expansion, and after that,
he's like, man, I don't want to mess with those Spartans. They're dangerous.
Hold, and hold they did. Sheth said, "Throw down your weapons," and the Marine said, "If you want them, come and get them." That's a real quote.
I know, Ben. I believe you.
That's what he really said. Leonidas.
I'm waiting for you to do your job instead of bringing out old move quotes.
No, it's a historical quote. Yeah. It's on a statue at Thermopylae.
Now do your job.
That match was brought to you guys by Kingston HyperX. We're going to kick this to a short commercial break, and then we'll be back with Game 2 of Sheth vs. Polt.